EA, I know I'm not seeing what I think I'm seeing.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Hurry, go ahead and get in here, shut the door behind you, because you know those EA hoes are coming to the comment section ready to defend their pimp, because there's some things that were promised to us that according to the gameplay that's just been released, it's looking like we might have been lied to. One of the things that I was looking forward to most this year was one of the promises that EA made during their deep dive of College Football 27, where EA promised to enhance AI ball carrier intelligence through a form of machine learning known as behavior cloning. Now, this behavior learning promised to help improve things according to EA, like better lane selection. AI ball carriers will more instinctively pick the optimal running lanes and avoid getting unnecessarily stuck on blockers. Also, they said the AI is tuned to better recognize cutback opportunities, read defensive leverage, and instinctively react to open space. That's a hell of a promise, EA. Sounds pretty fancy, but is EA selling wolf tickets, or did they actually implement this properly? From the footage that we are about to break down today in this video, that it looks like we might have been lied to again. Your Honor, roll the tape, please. Here we got Lacey, one of the best running backs in all of college football. Now, what was that? Let's read again what EA was promising to improve. It says that the AI is tuned to better recognize cutback opportunities and read defensive leverage. Does this look like this? Look at what's going on this play here. Look at the lane here that Lacey has. And he abandons it. He's looking straight at it. He abandons a wide open potential touchdown lane just to turn back into his linemen and blockers. I'm sorry, EA, didn't you just say that this aspect was supposed to be improved? I don't expect this to be perfect. It is a video game, but I expect them to get the obvious scenarios right. Wide open running lane, cuts immediately back into his blockers where there's no space, and he gets stuck on his blockers. One of the things that EA promised that they were gonna improve with this new technology. I'm not seeing it. Let's go to the next scenario. Here we have Jeremiah Smith, the highest rated player in the game, if I remember correctly. Look at what he's doing here, okay? He gets the reverse. Look at the wide open lane to cut up through. Watch what he does here. Instead of cutting up through that lane, because some of y'all are gonna say, well, that defender kind of got loose there at the last second. There's no instinctive movement here. There's no, let me cut in, cut back out, or cut out and cut back in. He instead makes a straight line towards the outside defender, and when he gets to the outside defender, he literally just runs a straight line directly into him, no juke moves or nothing. Let's look at another scenario, because one thing I don't like to do is point out one thing that goes wrong and not have an ample enough sample size. Here's the quarterback here. Has a chance to move up wide open to pick up some yards, instead forces it into some double coverage pass where both wide receivers are standing right next to each other. There's two defenders there. You have a wide open lane, and it's like the game engine, the game coding just malfunctions. And instead of him taking the obvious yardage here, he throws into double coverage with two wide receivers who are clamped right next to each other. EA, where is this machine learning we're talking about? Because now we're getting into a lot of examples, and these are from some of the players in the game who have the highest awareness rating, etc. What is going on here? Let's take a look here at Chambliss. Again, he scoots all the way up in the pocket, cool, but then he scoots all the way to the edge of the line of scrimmage, and then instead of taking off and running, or he just, throws it up in the back of the end zone. It's like something is malfunctioning in the coding. These are some of the highest rated players in the game with some of the highest levels of awareness ratings and all those other things. And look at what we're getting. Go watch the gameplay, what I'm talking about. And it's not just a player making a mistake. That's one thing I don't like, is somebody making a mistake or something, because players do that in real life. I'm talking about examples where it looks like the game's code breaks down and malfunctions, where they do something so irrational that you almost have to call it like a glitch. That's the type of things I'm talking about. And I'm showing you example after example with some of the highest rated players in the game. I want to tell you my theory about their broken code and how I'm almost sure that they know that it's broken and irreparable. See, EA used to have a slider for their games back in like the early 2000s to the mid 2010s, they used to have a slider called running back ability, which affected things like the ball carrier's vision, how aggressive they would be when using jukes. Now, of course, if you turn this all the way up to 99 or something, yes, it would have been like a robo running back. It would have just been unrealistic. But there was a spot where you could put it to like 62, 65-ish, and you get some very aggressive, realistic running back abilities in terms of them juking, in terms of them reading cutback lanes. In about 2015, EA took out the running back ability slider. Now you might ask, why would they do that? Why would they remove sliders that help us fine-tune the game? Well, that's where my theory of building on broken code comes into. You can always tell how confident a developer is in their code based off of how much parameters they give you, the user, to tinker with that. So for example, if a developer is confident in their code, they'll give you all the tools you need to adjust it because they feel like, you know what, no matter how many tools we give them, our code is built on such a solid foundation that it won't break. Gaming companies who are not confident in their code within the game that they're building, you can always tell because they start to remove options to allow you to tinker with those types of things. They start to remove them because my theory is they know that the more options we give them to tinker with things, or the more sliders we give them, the more exposed our faulty code will become. Our game will end up just breaking. Okay, I think that's what's going on with EA. They took away the running back ability slider. You remember back in the day, we also had a game speed slider where we can adjust the player movement, which some people like to lower because it helped the animations feel less janky. EA took that out too. It seems like the more that they, in my theory, build on top of this broken code, the more they have to remove from us to be able to adjust it, because they know some of the slightest adjustments will break the game. I don't even think the sliders that they do give us even work correctly, because for years, from college football 25, 26, even some of the Maddens before that, I always, even playing at all Madden or even playing at Heisman difficulty, I always have to turn user run blocking all the way down to 0. Because if I leave it at 50, I'm getting 100 yards no matter what running back I'm running with. Whether it's some 65 overall running back, it didn't matter. And it's not like I spam plays. I'm using coach suggestions for most of my play calling in dynasties. It seemed like the slider didn't even affect anything. So even the ones that they provide us, I feel like some of them are just for show and don't actually do anything. But the fact that they're removing sliders as we move on throughout the years is a troubling sign, in my opinion, of the type of code and the confidence in their code that they have within the game. There's also issues going on. If you watch the Dynasty rebuild, you can see here that there's still a lot of 3- and 4-star players that aren't even getting recruited. There's 3- and 4-star players that are just left unrecruited or unsigned, with colleges not even pursuing them. There's a lot under the hood that's just breaking right now for EA, and it's a shame because I'm rooting for them because it's the only option I and you have when it comes to like a AAA gaming company. I don't even mention Maximum Football. I'm talking about a company with the actual proper budget and technology to implement certain things. This is what we're stuck with, so I'm rooting for it because I'm paying money for it. But I'm not going to sit in silence if something is extremely wrong, especially something that was promoted to us as an improvement. I got to talk about that type of stuff. If this game's ever going to improve, if you just sit there and allow them to put out anything and don't say nothing and say, come on, man, y'all always got to complain about everything. No, if you pay money for a product, make sure you tell them what they did good. Make sure that you tell them what they need to improve on. If you just do the former, you are an idiot. So those are the things that EA needs to address, because some of these things just look and feel like they are still broken after almost decades of these types of patterns. Please, can y'all do something with your game engine and the coding within it? The game is coming out this week. I will be back soon, and we're gonna be breaking down a whole lot more things, and I'm gonna be doing a certain type of video on here that ain't never been done before on YouTube, so stay tuned.